Shouts out Big Steve.
Shout out Michael Bispin. What's up? Early tease, super early tease, let's say, for UFC Vegas 107. You're not going to get any earlier preview of these fights than on the Big Brain MMA, right? We did quite well last week, right? 3,000 profit over the 2 weeks. Nice little reset for me. If you want a more in-depth breakdown, go watch the recap video. I'm now doing separate episodes for the recap and the early tease. So other than that, we can get straight into this card and break it down. We have odds. We'll get ahead nice and early. And then, I can focus on doing some episodes for Road to UFC. I had 2 people ask me, are you betting on Road to UFC? And I said, there's a bear shit in the woods. How am I going to make money this week if I don't bet Road to UFC? So, yes, silly questions. Silly questions from my friends that know me well. All right, let's get into this card, right? And some tape has been done, right? After making some bank, I was pumped up. I was like, let's get ahead. So, Santos versus Elise Adelaine. I mean, this is a no-brainer. Dog or pass, right? Massive line. Correct me if I'm wrong. This reminds me a lot of Pinheiro versus Torres from last week. I know my boy Pepe will probably agree. Shout out Pepe. Sylvia, thank you for listening, my friend. And yeah, massive line on Elise. Rain dos Santos, 2 fights in the UFC, 2 split decision losses. You could argue that she won both, but she's still losing to Talita Alencar and Pooja Tumar, 2 girls that I would say are bottom of the barrel in the UFC. And, the girls that she's beating in UFC, Katie Soul, Julian DeCourcy, bottom of the barrel as well. So, Elise Adelaine, she took a short notice versus Shanna Bannon. Say what you will about Shanna Bannon. She's at least at the level of Rayan dos Santos. Lost a split at really short notice. She looked like she was out of shape. It was quite obvious to me. And she looked much better shape-wise against Melissa Martinez, but was lost at 30-27. And ultimately, she got knocked out in round 3, which the ref didn't really count. Said it was a low blow. So, yeah, it's no-brainer. Dog or pass, but I can't click. I didn't click on Pinheiro. You could argue that she beat Torres. And, I taped this one. I taped like 3 fights of each, and I can't really click on Elise because I'm probably overthinking it. Let's be honest. I'm probably overthinking it. I think Rayan dos Santos might be a level above, slightly. I think she kind of hits hard when she decides to sit on her punches. But yeah, I mean, it's a dog or pass. It's a no-brainer. It's a dog or pass. It's just, do you want to play it or not? Dogfather, Steve dressed like a soccer coach. Correct. This is a really nice Adidas / Man United outfit. Brand new. Good. I used to dress like this all the time and then moved on to hoodies. Lucky Tim, always in here. Thank you for being in here, my friend. Pepe Silva, pipe down. Correct. Subhuman, what's up? Alrighty. Speaking of Man United, they're playing Tottenham Hotspurs, 2 of the worst teams in the Premier League that are not getting relegated. What a match. Alrighty. Markel Maderos versus Balagos. No tape has been done on this fight. Oki is again a favorite. Last time he was around this line, he fluffed it against Chris Duncan. His split decision over Timmy Kwamba, it's kind of aging okay. Kwamba has just looked great in his last one. He's not a bad fighter either, although I think Kwamba was really short notice there too. So I don't know. I don't know how Oki's going to separate. I know Markel Maderos just barely beat Austin Hubbard. It was basically one mistake from Hubbard to lose that fight. But he had a really good back and forth striking fight against Landon Quinones. So I don't know. This feels like a dog or pass. Like, what am I going to do playing Balagioki at close to minus 200? I just don't think Maderos is that bad. Without tape, of course. What's up, Blom Dog? Subhuman, looking sharp. Thank you, my friend. I just came back from training. I'm actually cooked, but the coffee is hitting. Go to distance fight, Pirate. Yeah, I could see it. But my issue is both these guys kind of have power, and it's a 3-round striking fight. So, Subhuman, Man United, 2026 Champion League winners. I mean, anything is possible, but who knows? Andrew Uram. Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've seen you here before. Feels like a big underdog card for sure. I guess we'll get to that, right? Last week wasn't a big underdog card at all. So Let's see how Apex does this week. Alrighty. Jordan Levit versus Kurt Holloway. One of my friends already played Jordan Levit. He said, sharp friends, I should say. He said he didn't really feel it was as much of a smash spot as he thought it would be after a lot of tape. And Jordan Levit makes sense. He's going to go for takedowns. Old mate Kurt can't stop a takedown or work his way up to save himself. But on the feet, Kurt rinses Jordan. Right? It's just one of those volatile fights again. Watch if you wanna rush. Watch Kanan Khrushchevsky versus Kurt Holloway. What a fight! What a fight! Amazing scrap. Yeah, but ultimately, I mean, let's do a little bit of wiki capping. Jordan Levit, what's his best win? Knocked out Victor Martinez, beat Trey Ogden. That's pretty good. He's not going to sub Kurt, in my opinion. Kurt, gritty, grizzled black belt vet. I don't think he's going to sub him. So his cardio is also not the best. So can he grapple Kurt for three rounds and not get hurt, not get cracked himself? Weird fight, really weird fight. I mean, it's a dog or pass, but there's a lot of binary tendencies here. Maybe someone in the chat can add to this fight, but wouldn't have props, but maybe I'll do something next week for props. Oban Elliot versus Ramse. Wow, massive line on Oban. I'll give Oban props. I thought he was a lot worse than he is. He's kind of coming to his own in the UFC. He's got that. He fights like Figueiredo, in my opinion. Skirts the octagon, draws you into counters, and then he hits takedowns to seal the rounds. Not the best control either. This Preston Parsons fight, perfect example of his style. He really did nothing. He really did nothing offensively against Preston other than defend. But he won the 30-27 because he shut down Preston and then did a little bit more and won clear. He basically negated Preston, right? And he did the same against Basil Hafez. It was a really boring fight. It seemed like he was edging it. And then he knocked him out. He waited for Hafez to get overly aggressive. So he's a guy that kind of draws you into mistakes. And yeah, I mean, I guess it's a dog or pass. Ramiz Brahimaj, a lot of people were fading him with Mickey Gall of all people. I know my boy Evan jumped on the fade. I couldn't do it. But I was like, there is no way I am playing Mickey Gall at chalk over anyone. And, he retired after this fight. So got knocked out. I guess, yeah, it's a dog or pass. It's a dog or pass, but it's one of these guys, Ramiz, that needs moments. He needs big moments, takedowns, big punches. And Oban is the guy that's good at shutting people down. And Ramiz has been shut down before. So what to make of this fight? Not advocating to parlay Oban. It's dog or pass, but we'll see. Caitlin Vieira versus Macy Shyon. I feel like these two have fought already. Let me have a look. It was probably a fight that was cancelled. Let me have a look. Caitlin's good. No, yeah, it was a fight that was cancelled twice. In January and then in February this year. So they're really trying to make this fight happen. I guess if Macy can win this fight, right, she's leveling up a bit. If she can win this fight, you can argue she deserves the next title shot. And I always thought she was going to be the next clear title contender. She ran through a bunch of girls, Penny, Mizani, Sarah, and fluffed it against Landsberg. But then she went, and she usually beats everyone other than the top girls. She should have beat Aldana as well. So, but yeah, she seems like she's leveling up now. Yeah, interesting fight. What is this? It's hovering around Pick'em, right? I don't know. It's a tough one. Caitlin Vieira, really good takedown defense, a little bit hittable, good heavy hands herself. Generally, Shyon fluffs it. She does well early and then she drops the ball. But I don't know if Vieira can bring it out of her. Vieira also starts really well, wins round 1 at a pretty high clip, and then she slows down. Round 3, she was winning and been knocked out before. She's quite hittable. Let me just have a quick look where the odds are at. Sorry, this is the pay-per-view lines. What do we got? Well, the Oban Elliot line is just going more and more. Yeah, so Caitlin Vieira is a slight favorite. Honestly, I'd rather play Macy. All right, Macy's younger, right? 33. 33 versus 33. Yeah, seems a pick 'em. I'm not going to rush to take this one, honestly, but I'm leaning Macy. Seems to be on a bit of a better trajectory, honestly. Alrighty. Andreas Gustavson, Jeremiah Wells. All right, Gustavson making his debut after a couple of failed attempts in the UFC, and he's a favorite, which is interesting because Jeremiah Wells was on a nice little win streak. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak now, and I think Gustafson's a bit of a jack of nothing. Very physical guy. They're just not the best wrestling, but he just keeps you against the cage for long periods of time until he breaks you down or he beats you. Jeremiah Wells, man, 38 years of age. This guy's fought the who's who of mid. Ran through Mike Mateta, ran through Wally Alves on short notice. Court McGee, ran through Court McGee, beat Matthew Semmelsberger. And then, a little bit unfortunate. I was on him at Pick'em against Carlston Harris, winning every single minute, every single moment of the fight, and then he walks into an anaconda choke. Not aging well. I think Carlston Harris is not far from retirement. And then that split decision against Max Griffin, I guess, not the worst loss. Max Griffin will beat a lot of guys. He's like a gatekeeper for the UFC. But split decision just from the fact that he didn't really do much in that fight. Not the best look. I don't know. I see a few people like Gustavson this week. And, straight away without any tape at chalk, I'm not really feeling it. So, but I haven't done the tape. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a shit show fight. Like, can Andreas tank Jeremiah Wells' punches? And, can he outmuscle him against the clinch? Don't really think so. He's fighting someone that can match his physicality here. So, yeah, not rushing to play this one, honestly. Andrew, that Mara Berna Silva stoppage was nasty. She messed her up bad. Indeed, I thought Mara would finish her from guard or something, but seems to be leveling up a bit. Blonde Dog, kind of want to play Macy too. Yep. I feel like Macy's pretty big for her weight class. I mean, that's a no-brainer. She is. She looks big at featherweight. I like Gustavson. His Dana White Contender Series performance was kind of impressive. Yeah, he just broke that man, but that the guy that he broke is a Muay Thai guy. He's a little bit of a noodle. Local man shakes fist. Would you say Wells is dog or pass? I mean, I would now, but this is pre-tape. Blom Dog, why do you think it's a good matchup for Bane? What's he got over Jeremiah Wells? I would say he doesn't have the grappling. He doesn't have the power. He might not have the durability either. I don't know. Alan Nascimento versus Jafael Fila. Another fight that's fallen apart 3-4 times already. And now they're ranked again. Matched up again, I should say. Is it going to happen this time? Who the hell knows? A lot of people that I know are on Nascimento. It makes sense. Argument being he seems like the slightly better guy. I could agree with that. Nascimento, he almost beat Tagir Ulanbekov, right? Lost to Julian Paiva, which is not aging the best on Dana White Contender Series, but that was 2018. He seems like a different fighter, right? He's 33 now. He seems so big, so jacked. Dominated Jake Hadley. That's going to age well. Ran through Carlos Hernandez, as you should, if you're a high-level fighter. But Jafael Filo, I think this guy's not bad. I think Jafael Filo might have the better striking, might have more power. He does react a little bit weird to strikes himself. Like, he was almost finished by Daniel Barrez, who hits very hard. No shame in that. Came back, hurt him before submitting him. Got submitted by Mohamed Mokaev after almost submitting him. This Robert Echeverria fight, he was reacting really bad to some punches and to leg kicks. I remember he was flopping to his back before he came back and knocked him out himself. So he's been finished a bunch. He's been submitted. He's been knocked out. So I feel like he's the only one that can get finished here. I don't like who has submitted Alan Nascimento. Literally all his losses are decisions. And that's because a lot of the time he's getting top timed. So it feels like Alan Nascimento has all the finishing upside, so I kind of understand why people are playing him. It's a little bit worse than Pick'em, but I don't like this. I don't like this layoff, man. Like, look at these cancellations. Pulled out against Tim Elliott. Pulled out against Himadeji. That's an easy win right there. Pulled out against Fila. That's illness, right? So he got sick, and then against Asu Almabayev, he was rescheduled. So I don't like that, man. He kind of reminds me of, Santos. He kind of reminds me of Castaneda. These guys that can't make the walk, as soon as they start cutting weight, their body starts falling apart on them. Injuries, sicknesses, low immunity. I don't know, but I get it. I don't want to rush to underestimate Jafael Filo, but at the same time, I have to do some tape. So I'm not saying people that are betting Nascimento are wrong. It could be right. All right, Blomdog has come back and said it's a good matchup for Bane because of cardio. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Big dog father agrees. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, but kind of need more than just cardio at a chalky price. You're basically saying he's going to exist better than Wells. I think Wells could get top time if he's not retired. Yeah, I mean, the jury's out on Wells if he's retired or not. He's done some very stupid stuff in almost every single fight. This shooter box guys and layoffs, no biggie for me. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's a bit like Santos. Came in there and rinsed Kim, the Korean Tiger. Lucky Tim, Filo, no get-ups. Correct. There's a bit of similarities, Nascimento has lost a lot of fights by being, pulling guard, getting taken down. But his sweeps are elite. He swept Tagiro Lembekov a couple of times. All right, let's move on. Zachary Reese. We're on the main card already. Goes quick when there's no recap. Zachary Reese versus Dushko Todorovic. Man, I'm glad they're bringing my boy Dushko back one more time. I thought Dushko, one of the smarter Serbian fighters when he came to the UFC. I was like, he has a ground game, which is a rare thing from Serbia. He came with a black belt in jiu-jitsu, some power in his hands, and the UFC likes him. They gave him to Quan Townsend. Then they gave him Puna, got knocked out there. I think he would have beat Puna if Herb Dean didn't stop it. Then they give him Gregory Rodriguez, then Maki Pitolo, then Chitty, then Jordan Wright. So they're giving him, tough fighters, and then they give him a bounce back. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 5-3 in the UFC. Not the best. And now they're giving him Zachary Reese. After he got killed by Mansour Malik, I bet the under there. It was a no-brainer. I don't understand. Some people playing the over, which is crazy. Must have been Gugabe. They're giving him Reese, a guy that's not that good, but again, he could kill him. There's a massive athleticism gap between Zachary Reese and Dushko. It's. I think Dushko can knock him out too. I low-key think Reese could be very chinny. Obviously, knocked out in both his UFC fights in round 1. I actually think Jose Medina kind of hit him in round 3, and he really hated it. He really reacted bad and hit an easy takedown. So I think Dushko can beat this man. It's just he starts off slow. He's very hittable. He's obviously, he likes his head movement, but it's kind of durable. But at the same time, he can be blitzed. Coming off that knee injury, we only saw 2 minutes of him after the layoff against Malik. I don't know. It seems like a shit show fight. Pepe, is Dushko a slam spot? Don't know about that, man. Don't know about that. Maybe I'll get back to you after tape, but it's rough. It's rough. Andrew, I hated how Zachary looked in his last fight, and he looked pretty bad against Medina. Correct. I mean, I was on him against Marquez, but that's a guy that was bloody knocked out by Marc-Andre Barrios. That was an easy spot at plus money. A lot of people smashed Marquez. So people are obviously not high on Zachary Reese. So the Dushko fight should be a harder fight for him than freaking Julian Marquez. It's not low-key chinny when you're going out cold almost every time you face adversity, yeah? Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Dogfather, who cares how Reese looked against Bukayev? That's not going to age too bad, in my opinion. Bukayev has power when he just decides to throw his hands. Alrighty, Dustin Jacobe versus Bruno Lopez. This is the one. I'm actually close. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't taped it, but I'm leaning Jacobe, right? Bruno Lopez is not it. Really bad fighter. No defense. Not the best. Actually, his chin's better than I thought. Obviously, I played him against that bum, the Dagestani fraud that was cut. And I also played the over there, which was an insane price. Much better than the dog shot. Never even close to finishing. Just a lot of grappling. And honestly, Dustin Jacobe, he's a bit old. He's 37, but this man has underrated KO power, right? He knocked out Vitor Petrino with a 1-2, knocked out Kennedy with a 1-2 early in the fight. right? W John with the 1-2 right cross. He loves his right cross. So Bruno Lopez, what's Bruno Lopez going to do? He's going to strike with him, stand with him. He's going to try grapple with him. Not the easiest guy to grapple. I think Dustin, I think this is a much easier fight for Dustin than Vitor Petrino, for example. Like Bruno Lopez looks just a bit washed, even though he's honestly just came to the UFC now. So, but you got to pay chalk. You got to pay chalk on another washed guy in Dustin Jacobe, who's 37, coming off, lost 2 back-to-back fights. Again, getting knocked out by Dominic Reyes, not aging too bad. So there's that. But yeah, I'm leading Jacobe, and I'll tape it. I used to play Jacobe all the time, man. I played him against Stewart. Kodalaba got away with that one. Grishin got away with that one too. Ledet. John Allen, I think I just parlayed him there. I'll play decision, actually. So maybe this is a spot where he's a clear favorite again. You should have some confidence after the Vitor Petrino fight. Local man, going to pile on and say that I think Dushko is a smash spot. Well, here we go. How about this? Is Dushko a mush spot? Think about it, lads. Blomdog, Jacobe and KO if it's good. Yeah, we tend to agree. We all tend to agree there. Alrighty, Song Hyun KO. It's probably Ko, but we'll go with KO. Billy Ray Goff. Right. Suk. I said Seoul. Suk Hyun was plus 140. Now he's plus 120. A little bit of money. I know Dogfather played him. I taped it. I respect my ball friend's motion. Not in the bedroom, only when betting fights. And I get it. Ko looked much better in Contender Series, than he has on some of his regional tape. Obviously, his regional tape, it's a lot of bloody pensioners from Korea. Like, look at this: 7-7, 28-7, 5-4, 6-1. That's good. 3-3, and a lot of these guys. I remember when I was taping, a lot of these guys are literally like 40. Got the knee braces and stuff. And he's been knocked out twice by Sasha Palatnikov, massive red flag, and Hang Sol Kim. This guy was on road to UFC twice. He does crack quite hard, but his chin held up against Igor Cavalcanti. But just how good is Igor Cavalcanti? After his Contender Series, he won another fight against a cab driver. So, the guy might just not be good at all. And I think that's Sook's best win. And I taped one fight of Goff, and I know he gets dropped a lot. I remember that, and. I was impressed. I was impressed against Trey Waters. He lost that fight clear, but it was kind of close as well. He just, whenever he's hurt, he just came back and started landing on Trey. Trey had very good head movement. I just don't know. I don't know if Ko can handle that. Like, again, he's been knocked out twice. He's got that Korean head movement. He blocks a lot with his head. He can KO Goff, I guess, and look massive value as an underdog. But at the same time, I just feel like Goff has a bit of aura. He's quite durable. He's got good cardio. So I don't know. I taped it and I just moved on. Like, it's early. We're 2 weeks away. I don't want to rush and I missed plus 140 as well. So we'll see. We'll see. But it seems like an exciting fight. Very good fight. They know what they're doing, giving Billy Ray Goff these Asians, right? They know what they're doing. Andrew Uram, I don't mind playing someone who got KO'd by the guy that beat John Jones. Right. Bit of mental gymnastics there and a bit of MMA math, but whatever works to get confidence behind your bet. I'm all for it. Lucky Tim, hard to favor Billy Goff with his terrific head strike metrics. Seems like an easy fight to bet, dog. Just knowing he won't get hit as much and look for Goff live. Yeah, Billy Goff is the best, right? He's the best live bet there is. Even against Kinoshita, he looked like he hated it. Kinoshita was cracking him. His body language was really bad, but the man just turns it around. Like, he just melts these dudes, right? So yeah, he's 26. He's got a lot to improve. Yeah, Pirate. Good point. Korean head strike metric versus Goff head strike metric. Yeah. Yep. All right. I wonder what the under will be. Mateus Gamrock versus Ludovic Klein. Great fight. Sick fight. This could be a main event, honestly. Why the hell is Aaron Blanchfield, Macy Barber the main event? I mean, I get it because, the girls are ranked higher and it could be a potential title eliminator. But still, Mateusz Gamrock, 2 highly ranked lightweights. Yeah, I taped one fight of Ludovic Klein. It was his last fight against Roberts. Obviously, I taped the Thiago Moises fight. I taped the Ignacio Bahamondes fight a lot recently because Ignacio's been fighting a lot. And yeah, this guy, he's got the tools to beat Mateusz Gamrock. He's got the sprawl and brawl, very good kicks. Mateusz gets dropped a million times per fight. Right? He's getting dropped by freaking washed IDA of all people, which is interesting. And then losing to Dan Hooker, not the best look, but he dropped Dan Hooker bad in round 1. He's got hands as well. But ultimately, he lost on damage versus control, which this is it again. Same stuff. It's going to be that damage versus control. So it seems like a competitive fight. I mean, the line is relatively close-ish. On Bet365, Klein is an underdog. Gamrock, $1.66. I mean, it's a bit tough to play $1.66 when you know he's going to get dropped. He's going to be getting kicked, kept that kicking distance. Same time, Ludovic Klein is a weird guy to cap for me, right? Again, he dropped round 1 to Roosevelt Roberts, which is a red flag. He had to resort to wrestling. He's been broken before. He lost to Truzano gassed. He got broken by Nate Landwehr gassed. Devontae Smith was a split. Jay Herbert, he should have lost that fight, but because of a rubbish point from one of the worst refs in the game, it was a draw. And then, this AJ Cunningham, Roosevelt Roberts, Thiago Moises not aging well. Don't know. He's a weird fighter. It looks like a world beater, but at the same time, he looks like someone that can be broken. And if Maderos is going to win, he's going to break him with consistent takedowns, one after another. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Let me look at the comments. Really good fight. I'm excited to watch it. Andrew. Gamrock is a slam spot for me. Tell me why, Andrew. Pirate, Klein. It's the least bad price on Gamrock in a long time. I do agree with that. And probably the worst opponent he's fought in a long time. Halelawua. Gamrock on a steady decline. Maybe. I think he beat Dan Hooker, but it was very close. Yeah, Dan Hooker is another guy that's no one's really grappled him properly other than Makhachev. And, he's a guy that's always doing damage in there. Love the spot for Gamrock. He can put a pace on Klein. Interesting. It seems like a fight that's got people split. Pepe, Ludovic has aura. Yeah, he does. And I would argue to say that old mate Gamrock has no aura. Everyone is shitting on aura, on Gamrock. That seems to be the thing, to shit on Gamrock. Fight that might play out close depending on what judges you get damage. Yeah, we agree. All right, let's move on. And we're in the main event. Aaron Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. Aaron, a favorite. Minus 200 favorite, which is disgusting. You just know that she's going to struggle to get some takedowns early, like always. Macy does things that Aaron struggles with: physicality and, striking power, maybe some takedown defense as well. Let me just do some wiki capping. Macy Barber, recently knocked out Rebus, beat Caitlin Kemenara, Andrea Lee, which you could argue she lost that fight. She's fought a lot of grapplers, Miranda Maverick, you could say she lost that fight. Montella De La Rosa, she won that 29-28. Yeah. Slim margin kind of wins here for her. Slim margin kind of wins, yeah, I remember now. Got her grappled by Alexa Grasso as well. I taped that recently for the Grasso fight. Yeah, not good. I can understand why Aaron is minus 200. She definitely has a lot more hype. But her wins against Rose Namajunas, that was a super close fight. I think she was down 2-0. 2-0 and then one's round 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. This is a... Is this... it's a 5-rounder, yeah. Well, that certainly favors Aaron. That's where the issue comes from. Yeah, this is an easy one for me. I'll just live bet Aaron. She's going to come against some adversity early, maybe round 1, round 2. And then, she's just going to keep pushing the pace. She was a great live bet against Rose. Probably a good live bet here again. But some tape needs to be done. Cloud, Blanchfield, mauling Barber. Yeah, I mean, she hasn't mauled anyone in a while. That's the thing. Whom would you rather bring in as a third with you and your missus? Aaron or Macy? Wow. That's an easy one for me. Macy Barber for sure. Macy Barber, I don't think she's a bad-looking girl. She just has a bit of a psycho. You know, she's not the best. She's not my type. She's a bit heavy on the lower half as well. But Aaron is like a 2 out of 10 for me at best. Maybe a 1 out of 10. Aaron makes me sick. Aaron reminds me of a grandma. There is nothing feminine or attractive about Aaron to me whatsoever. She looks like a dude with a wig. So there you go, Pepe. I hope that fulfills your fantasies. Wish Barber wasn't coming off having cancer. What's Barber's injuries? What has she got? Weird feeling Macy wins by vicious KO. I could see it. You know, Aaron is very hittable, but that Jessica Andrade fight, she took some bombs. So I'm happy to say that she has a good chin on her too. Paul Viret, T-Rex arms Aaron, correct. Piezo DFS, under 4.5 plus money. Where are you getting under 4.5 rounds? Do we have totals? Or are you assuming it's going to be plus money? Because you obviously will, let's be honest. Fight odds. Maybe just the main event on some books. Yeah, I mean, I could see a knockout. I could see fight odds is showing. Well, what is this? We've got totals on fight odds. Surely they didn't release it this early. That's crazy. All right, let's go through it. I'll go through it quickly. Yeah, Elise, Adeline, obviously the under there. I think, you know, Amanda maybe has some submission upside. Oki, yeah, play the under. Kurt Holbrow, I'll play the under. I'm not playing overs at minus 200. Obama Ramiz, the under 1.5. Wow, this is interesting. They're priced it well. Macy under 2.5 rounds. I'm definitely feeling that. Yeah, I'm liking all these unders. Not every fight has it, which is interesting. Maybe they're releasing him right now. Klein, Gamrock under 318. I mean, I like that too. Gamrock can break Klein. He did knock out old mate Vieira through injury. And then what else? Under 4.5 rounds. Yeah. Wow. Cool. So BetOnline is really releasing these totals nice and early. That's strange. Sometimes they don't do shit when there's no UFC. And now they're just getting ahead. I love how they're not rushing to release Zachary Reese versus Dushko Todorovic. They're leaving the hard ones till the end. Smart. Hallelujah. Barber had strep and pneumonia affecting her from at least April to October. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's going to be a live bet on Aaron. I already know I'm not going to be super excited about this fight unless it's an under. But that's about it, lads. That's about it. I taped a few of these fights. You know, Elise will pass. Maderos will pass. Levit, Heidelberg, not too sure. Brahim will pass. Leaning Shyon, don't really know. I guess leaning that Cemento. I guess Dushko. Leaning Dustin Jacobe. Goff taped it. It just feels like a volatile fight. No strong reads. Klein, Gamrock, no strong reads yet. And main event, no strong reads. So I like all the unders. There's a lot of big money unders that are kind of tempting me. So we'll see. Still went for 30 minutes without the recap, but it is what it is. All right, keep an eye out. I'm going to do some Road to UFC podcasts. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Thank you.